What's good, YouTube? I'm doing another reaction video. It's your boy, the one and only chosen Pharaoh. Yes, thank you. I don't do much but react. Like, when I talk to people, right, and when I tell them, like, when I tell them I'm a YouTuber, you know, and they be like, oh, really? What kind of videos do you do? I'm like, well, for now, I'm doing reaction videos. They're like, oh, okay. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm pretty sure some people hate people that do reaction videos, but honestly, I'm doing reactions because, you know, I feel that it's, you know, I see others do it, and I'm not doing it because other people doing it. I'm doing it because, like, so far this when it comes to YouTube, I see a lot of people like others' reactions. So I'm like, why can I, you know, do that too and like build up my fan base? So that's what I'm doing. You feel me? But yeah, like, telling people that you do reaction videos is like really weird, I think. But anyway, enough all the chit chat. This is the richness 5. My bad. 10. Why am I keep on saying 5? 10 cursed objects science can't explain. Let's get into it. Let's go. Commercial. Hold up.
I see.
How you guys doing today? I went to the dentist today. They said I have perfect teeth and 8 cavities. I never had cavities till now. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in myself. But she said I have perfect teeth. So I'm such an oxymoron. Like, I'm really in. Let me put in my earphones. Oh my god. My shits look like they're about to break. See, look. I'm gonna upgrade soon, alright, guys? Because, honestly, ever since I started using my one earphones, it's a lot easier editing, you feel me? Because when you make videos, you would understand. But if you don't make videos, just shut up. Real talk, shut up. Because you don't know how it's like. Nah, like, I'm playing around, obviously, but like, you feel me? Like, if you don't know anything about editing videos, then, you feel me? Like, I'm doing the best that I could to entertain you guys. So let's get into this video.
Do you believe in curses?
Yes.
Even if you don't, there's a pretty substantial list of
sign,
artifacts around the world that seem to bring bad times with them wherever they appear. Whether death, disease, or just bad luck, some artifacts apparently have a pretty extensive and terrifying backstory attached to them. From historic sites to world-famous jewelry, we're not sure how to describe these finds as anything else but cursed. King Tut's tomb. Even if you don't know much about curses, it's likely you've heard of the curse of King Tutankhamun. In 1923, archaeologists discovered the untouched tomb of the Egyptian king, still packed with all sorts of treasures, including a curse. Apparently,
Pharaoh.
once the tomb was opened, the bodies started dropping. It began with the financial backer of the expedition, Lord Carnarvon, who died from an infected mosquito bite. A little over a decade after its discovery, the death toll of those linked to King Tut's tomb had risen to 20. Little Bastard. In 1955, actor James Dean was killed in a crash while driving his Porsche 550 Spider. The mangled remains of his car were purchased to be sold as spare parts for other car enthusiasts. Unfortunately, the damaged Porsche appeared to be cursed. First, it fell on a mechanic, crushing his leg. Customers who had purchased the engine and transmission each were involved in their own terrible car crashes, one of which was fatal. The tires suffered simultaneous blowouts for a third person, sending them to the hospital. Finally, the truck transporting the damaged shell of the Porsche was involved in its own crash, killing the driver. The Hope Diamond. Perhaps the most famous gemstone in the world, legend goes that priests put a curse on the Hope Diamond that would affect anyone with it in their possession. Did it work? Well, it appears so. In fact, anyone even remotely linked to the diamond has suffered a pretty bad life. The guy who stole it reportedly died of a fever. A line of French royalty suffered disease, family deaths, and a little thing called the French Revolution. Even the man who delivered the stone to the Smithsonian Museum where it resides today suffered a terrible car accident and had his house burned down. Virginia City
At least it
headstones.
didn't die.
We think
But
it goes
still.
without saying that taking anything from a graveyard is taboo. That hasn't
hell
stopped
yeah.
many people from taking artifacts and pieces of headstones from the old
Nah,
cemetery
yeah.
in Virginia City, Nevada. Interestingly
People
enough,
wild for
much of what
that.
goes missing is later returned. It turns out people use the stones for everything from paperweights to doorstops, but quickly change their ways when bad fortune strikes. Dozens of stolen artifacts are returned every year, often with a note telling of bad luck, divorce, or poor health. The Bassano Vase. The 15th century Bassano vase was originally a gift for an Italian bride. She was found the following day, dead and clutching the vase in her hands. It was then passed down through the generations, reportedly causing mysterious deaths all along the way. In 1988, the vase reportedly turned up at an auction, and the winning bidder died just 3 months later. It went through a string of new owners over the following years, with each dying within months of taking possession. Today, the vase has vanished, allegedly buried by officials to keep its curse away. Petrified trees. 200 million years ago, there was a huge forest in northeastern Arizona. Today, it's the Petrified Forest National Park.
I hate when they
Hundreds
do
of
that.
thousands of tourists visit the
Chop up
park
trees
each
and
year,
shit
and when
like
they
that.
leave, many steal a piece of rock as a souvenir. However, the souvenirs can turn out to be more than what they bargained for. What many eventually conclude is that the rocks are cursed, as proven by a pile of returned stone and a mountain of apology letters, many of which mention bad luck which arrived with the souvenir
That's
they
the
took.
The
The Iceman.
That looked like it was
In 1991,
like a
researchers
tree
made
got
a
chopped
massive
off and it
discovery
started
when they
bleeding.
found a mummy preserved in a glacier in the Ötztal Alps in Europe. Dubbed the
Show a
Iceman,
picture.
the man was exhumed and studied closely. However, like Tutankhamun, this find also seemed to come with a curse. In fact, 7 people linked closely with the Iceman have died, 4 of them in violent accidents. From the people who first discovered the mummy to the first official examiner to individuals who researched the find later, these deaths have more than a few people left with a cold chill down their spines.
Oh.
Pompeii's curse. Much of the ancient city of Pompeii was remarkably well preserved after it was covered in ash from a volcanic eruption. In fact, the legend goes that the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD was the start of a curse resulting from the angry gods. Today, the city is a tourist destination, and this means that bits and pieces of the ruins and artwork get taken. However, true to the curse of the gods, hundreds of pieces have been returned, with letters explaining the bad fortune and curse which has occurred as a result of the theft. Just a guilty conscience? Or perhaps a true curse? Gettysburg. When it comes to sacred American ground, there are few places bigger than Gettysburg. Site of a bloody civil war between North and South, tourists flock to the battlefield, and many decide to take home a piece of history in the form of a rock. Yet, park rangers report that many bits and pieces of the battlefield end up getting returned with letters asking for forgiveness and telling of bad fortune. Whether broken limbs, failed marriages, time behind bars, or even family deaths, those who work at the historic site say that there are more than a few people who believe Gettysburg isn't just sacred ground, but perhaps a bit cursed as well. The Busby Chair. Do you knowingly sit in a chair said to be cursed by an 18th century murderer? Well, the owners of the Thirsk Museum in North Yorkshire, England, aren't going to take that chance and have hung the chair on a wall. What's the big deal? Apparently, in the early 1700s, Thomas Busby, on his way to be executed, sat in the chair for one last drink. Since then, there's been an alarming link between anyone sitting in the same chair and their untimely death. In fact, death usually came within just hours. Declared evil, the chair was donated to the museum on the condition that no one sit in it. Well, folks, that's our video. Did any of these—
Yo, that's so funny. That's so funny because I went to the dentist today, right? And like the lady, she saw my unc. If you don't know the name of this, she saw my unc, and then she was like, "What do you call it? You like Egypt?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm really interested in it." And then she was like, "Oh, she's from Egypt. She was born from Egypt." I was like, "Oh, that's dope. Like that's cool." And like we was talking and everything, and then she was like, "Yeah, people, they try to people like either vandalize the pyramids and like stuff like that." And I'm like, "Oh wow, that's crazy." And like and there's like, oh, there's people out there that like try to take pieces of it and sell them and stuff. And then my mom said that she had a piece of something in history, but then somebody stole it from her and stuff. Like I find that really ironic that I just saw that and stuff. and like how, you know, like people died, and like people, like all these consequences and stuff happen because of those times in history. Like honestly, like honestly, I'm glad that they stole it from my mom, because I believe in signs and like little stuff like that. But yo, other than that, yo guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Please subscribe to your boy, the chosen Pharaoh. We out, y'all.